Okay, hello everybody. So today's video will be going over the 3 most important softwares you'll need if you're macroing Beestorm Simulator. Let's get right into it. Starting off, we'll show you how to get the most basic macro, Natro Macro, the one that's all rounded that anyone needs if you're gonna macro Beestorm Simulator. So let's go ahead and show you how to get that. So the first thing you need to do to get Natro Macro is to go over to your browser, may that be Google Chrome, Opera GX, whatever you use, and look up Natro Macro. Now, it's going to be the first thing that pops up. If it's not, it's going to be the GitHub link. So go ahead, click on this GitHub link. Next, you're going to be taken to a page that looks like this. All you're going to want to do is come down here to releases and click on latest. Next, once you're here, just scroll down and download Natro Macro v1.0.1.zip. Next, open up your files. Click on downloads. In downloads, you'll see natro_macro v1.0.1.zip. Next, just extract all, which is right here. Click extract all, then click extract, and it'll extract everything to a folder. There we go. Next, it'll make a new folder that's not a .zip, and it'll just be a file folder. Next, go in here, click it again, and open up start/bat. Turn off always ask before opening this file, and then click run. It's okay, it's just because that it's an unknown publisher that it's giving you this notification. Even though it's completely safe, don't worry. Next, your Natro Macro should have opened. Now let's go back in Beestorm and configure these settings. So now that we're back in Beestorm, I will be going through each tab and explaining it, but let's start with the more important stuff. First, the first thing you should always do is go to your settings. In settings, change your movement speed, your character's movement speed, to whatever it is without haste. The way to see your character's movement speed is to go in Beestorm, come up here to system, and scroll down till you see movement speed. Well, move speed, but you get what I mean. As you see, mine is not accurate because I have haste right now. So run around, don't let your cut buddy collect your... Run around, don't let your cut buddy collect haste, don't let your bees make haste tokens. Just keep running around till that haste goes away. Bro, are we... Alright, now that we don't have haste, we can now look at our move speed, which ours is 29. So next, you're going to come back over here to Natro Macro, and you're going to change this so whatever yours is. It might be 29, it might be 28, it might be 27, it might be 11. I don't know why it would be 11. Next, change it to whatever hive slot you're currently in. For example, we're in hive slot 1. As you see over there, that's our hive in hive slot 1, so we select hive slot 1. Next, make sure to have it so your amount of bees is here. For example, my hive has 50 bees because I have the max amount of bees. Next, change your sprinkler type to whatever sprinklers you own. I own Supreme, but if you own Diamond, change to Diamond, Gold to Golden, and silver to silver, etc, etc, etc. This is important because it'll place more sprinklers. If you have the diamond one down, it'll try to place 4 sprinklers, 3 sprinklers, 2 sprinklers, and then it'll only place 1 if you have the basic or supreme, because you can only place 1 of those sprinklers. Now let's go back to gather and set up everything. So let's just say we're Bluefield and we want to macro pine tree. As you see, this all looks very confusing, but don't worry, we'll walk you through everything. Now, for the amount of patterns there are, these are all the pre-installed patterns. But let's say you want something a little not pre-installed. Well, if that's what you want, then we need to move over to Discord. But first, before we go over to Discord, we actually need to join the Natro Macro Discord server. To join that, go back to the Natro Macro GitHub, and as you see, their Discord is discord.gg/Natro Macro. Click on this, and here we go. Now it'll launch your Discord app, which if we come over here, it opened up my Natro Macro Discord server. And now I will remind you guys that I will be having all the important links in the description. Natro Macro Discord, all the GitHub links, so you don't have to feel scared if you went to the wrong website. So everything's in the description below if you want to make sure you're going to the correct website. So now that we're in the Natro Macro Discord server, you want to scroll down until you see patterns. Now in patterns, there's a ton of different ones here. If you see anyone you specifically like, go ahead and choose that one. But for me, I like Miku Tide Shift. So come up here to search and look up Miku. Next, on Miku Tide Shift is the very bottom one. Now here's Miku Tide Shift, and just go ahead and download this Miku-tideshift.autohotkey. As you see, now we have this Miku-tideshift.autohotkey. Next, open up your files again, make a new tab, come over here to downloads once again, and find Miku-tideshift.autohotkey. Now move Miku-tideshift.autohotkey to Natro Macro and patterns. Now, Miku-tideshift.autohotkey is now in Natro Macro patterns. So now if you come back to Roblox, you'll see that if you come over here to pattern shape, it's not there. What do? Well, you just have to restart your Natro Macro. So now with that, we've restarted our Natro Macro. It should be, yep, here it is. Miku Tideshift. Ignore the one, that's just because I have 2 files of it. Next, come back to the Discord and you need to copy all of this right here. So there's a little copy icon for me, but if that's not there for you, just go over it and Control C. Next, go back to Natro Macro, come over here to Gathering Field Rotation Pine Tree, and just click paste, and it'll give you all the settings you need to make Miku Tideshift work properly. Okay, now come back to Roblox, and as you see, all these settings are correct because you pasted it. Now let's go to collect/kill. Make sure to be always collecting your clock. You can collect Mondo if you want the Mondo buff, but I personally don't. And for dispensers, I always collect glue. This is because glue can only be collected every day, so you only collect it once. It doesn't really hinder your macro at all, and glue is pretty important no matter what stage of the game you're on. I mean, I'm so broke in glue that I literally don't even have any. That's how broke I am. But other than glue, you can keep all the ones the same unless you're specifically going for strawberries or blueberries, you can turn those on. Or if you need robo passes or ant passes, just whatever you prefer. Next, over here in kill, I would kill King Beetle, kill Tunnel Bear, and turn on Baby Love for both of them. Because once again, you can only kill King Beetle every day. It doesn't really hinder the macro, and you can only kill Tunnel Bear every 2 days. So it just doesn't hinder the macro at all, and it's quite useful. Next, we're going to go over to the boost tab. This tab is quite important to making honey as a blue hive because you want to turn on the blue field booster. If you get good RNG, you could hit Pine Tree every time, or none of the times. It's all RNG based, but this will help you get a lot more honey. Next, over here in quests. Now, quests is also quite important because Bucko Bee, you can do Bucko Bee quests and just have your macro constantly doing Bucko Bee quests for Tide Popper, or vice versa, Riley Bee quests for Dark Scythe. And Polar Bear, I would always turn on Polar Bear and turn off Allow, Gather, Interrupt because you will always want to be getting that polar power. The more polar power, the longer your bees can stay on the field. So just always have Polar Bear quests on. Next, the most important tab of Natro Macro, planters. You do not have bad nectar, to quote my goat Haseen. So come over here to the plus tab and select all the planters you have. Or if you want specific planters, turn off plastic, turn off candy, keep blue clay, red clay, turn off tacky, and keep pesticide. These are the 3 most important planters. If you need to buy planters, buy these planters. And then make sure to turn on your hydroponic, petal, heat treated, whichever ones you have. I have hydroponic and petal. I don't have heat treated yet. Next, come up here to presets and just turn on blue. It's just gonna give you optimal nectar for blue. So now that you have all this set up, this is gonna be your main way that you're making honey because having good nectar gives you a lot more honey than not having nectar. Next, we're gonna come over here to status. And status is probably the most confusing part of all these tabs. But it's also really important because it tells you how your macro is doing without having to actually look at your macro. So if you come down here, it says change Discord settings. Now in here, you can see webhook URL. What is that? Well, let me show you. Come back over here to Discord. Go all the way down till you see plus. Click add a server. Close this. Click add a server, create my own for me and my friends. Next, just name it Gold Macro Test or whatever you want to name it. Just something about macroing so you know what it is. And then you can give it a picture or you don't have to give it a picture or whatever you want to do. Next, here we are in Gold Macro Test. The next thing you want to do is create a channel. And just name this channel like Macro Updates Pro or whatever you want it to be. This is the tech channel that's your macro is going to be sending its updates to. But to actually get those updates, you need to come up here, go to server settings, come down here to integrations, and you'll see webhooks. Go ahead and create your webhook, name it macro updates, and place it in the macro updates channel. Next, you can give it a PFE if you want to, but it's not really needed. Just click this copy webhook URL button and click this save changes. Now you can exit this. If you come back over here to Natro Macro and come back here to change Discord settings, this is where you want to paste your webhook URL. Just click this right here, and that pastes it into there. Now, don't share this with anyone, because if anyone gets this webhook URL thing, they can make your bot say or do whatever they want. That's why mine is blurred out right now, but you're going to be able to see around, obviously. Next, I would automatically turn on screenshots, because this is pretty important. This takes pictures in-game of everything that it's doing. Next, I would turn on pings, so your account gets pinged. Now, to actually get pings, you need to get your user ID. To grab that, come over here to yourself. This is me. Come down here and click copy user ID. Then come over here and click this little button again and it'll paste your user ID into there. Next, I would turn off phantom planters. These are the most annoying pings because if you ever harvest your planter in the game just playing yourself, your macro will yell at you and be like, bro, your plants are gone, bro. What are you doing? But yeah, that's all for this. And ignore whatever this is. I don't know what happened. Alright, now, so whenever you start it up, as you see, if you click F1, it shows you this. Begin loop, begin main loop, pause, F2 to continue, you know, everything. And this will give you all the updates of what your macro is doing, where it gets stuck at, anything like that. And if anything ever breaks, you want to be looking at this to see what happened, what was it trying to do when it broke. For example, if it doesn't place a planter, it could be because you already have too many planters placed down. And if that's the case, it'll immediately change max planters from 3 to 2. The next tab is settings, and we've gone over most of these, but private server link is important. So if you have any private server link, just paste it here. Make sure it's not a share link, but the actual private server link itself. Which to do that, you just need to come over here, paste your share link into here, let it open up Roblox, and then click at the top, and that'll be your actual private server link. To give you an example, this is the private server we use for all our streams. This is a correct private server link. For you, it'll be a share link. Click enter, and it'll open up this little section. It'll probably kick me out of the game though. Yeah, okay. And now that you're here, you just click at the top bar here, and this will be the correct private server link. Next, come over here and paste this into your private server link, and it should be all good. The next tab is MISC, which is anything that is a tool. As you see, we have Hive Tools, which you can use Hive Tools to make it so it automatically hatches basic eggs to get a gifted basic bee. Or you can use Bitterberry Autofeeder, which automatically gives mutations to your bees. And Auto Jelly does, as it sounds, auto jellies if you're too lazy to keep clicking the button. Calculators, I have never used these. I've never really used anything in here other than this right here. And then credits is obviously credits to all the people who made Natro Macro. So there you go. That's the entire Natro Macro setup. Now on to Revolution. Now Revolution is arguably a lot more different. So to get Revolution, once again, come over here to your whatever browser you use, Chrome, Opera GX, Firefox, whatever you use, and look up Revolution Macro. Now this one actually does work with Mac. Unlike Natro Macro. Natro Macro does not work with Mac. So now that you're on this website, which this is the official website, revolutionmacro.com, come over here, click download for Windows, and then click download for Windows. It's then going to open up a GitHub page. On this GitHub page, just download revolutionmacro.exe. Now once again, come over here to your file explorer. Come over here to downloads, and this time we're going to do something a little different. This is just my personal preference though. Come over here, right click, come down here to new, and then click on folder. This is going to make a new folder. Call this folder Revolution, and move your Revolution macro into the Revolution folder. Next, go into the Revolution folder and double click on Revolution Macro. It's going to tell you Windows protected your PC. Don't worry, it's just telling you this because it's from an unknown publisher. Well, not an unknown publisher, but from a publisher that Windows doesn't recognize. So just click run anyways. It's completely fine. This is the right publisher. Don't worry. Now, here we are in the Revolution Macro little setup thing. It looks quite the bit different from Natro Macro. Now let's come back over here to Roblox, and Revolution is a lot different. A lot. So let's just go here to gather and start by clicking this plus. Next, you're gonna wanna pick, well, obviously Pine Tree. Next, the reason why people use Revolution so much is for this little feature right here, which is AI Gather. This will go to specific coins in specific places, like, you know, it'll run to the token and pick it up, rather than just doing a loop of a special little loop thing. You know what I mean. So for specifics in here, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really use Revolution for just macro. So I don't really have anything specific, but most of the time, blue fields are gonna be up here in this corner. This is where you want your position to be on the field. Center for center, just mess with it till you like it. Next, I would change max backpack. I would keep that at 95%. That's usually what Natro Macro uses. You kind of want to use the same for here. But let's get to the actual important part right here. If you come down here to AI Gather and go to token priority, this shows all the tokens in the game that could be picking up and its priority. So the reason I use Revolution is actually quite different from just a normal macro. What I do is I change loot to have the highest priority, which as you see, I add one more than token link. And this is because I want you to pick up all the strawberry tokens or all the blueberry tokens in the field, because I need strawberry tokens for getting red extract. As you see, we're almost there. We don't have strawberry tokens right now because it's all in the blender, but I make around 3,000 to 4,000 a night using this instead of just using Natro Macro. With Natro Macro, I only made around 2,000 a night, so that's an extra 1,000. But you can finick with this as you need to. I would just keep the normal ones it gives you, because it gives you the ones that is important for Blue Hive. But let's say instead you're a fuzzy ult. You want to change your fuzz bombs to be the highest priority, so you're always picking up fuzz bombs. And let's say maybe you're a red hive or white hive. You're going to want to turn on red boost or red bomb or pollen marks, and those are going to be a lot higher priority to you than something like blue boost. But yeah, finick with this as you need to. I don't have too much advice on this because I don't really use this for macroing. I still use Natro Macro. I just use this for very specific purposes like getting tokens. But we'll still go through every tab. So next we also have settings, which just like Natro Macro, this is a really important part. Make sure to turn on your sprinkler type to whatever your sprinkler type is. Mine's Supreme. Everything else in this tab is good. It doesn't seem like it really needs anything else. So next we'll go over to collect. Now on collect, this is the exact same thing as Natro Macro, where it collects certain stuff. Wealth clock, make sure to have wealth clock on. Glue dispenser, I would turn glue dispenser on, again, because you collect it every day. So it's not going to hinder your macro, really at all. And then you can turn on strawberry dispenser or blueberry dispenser if you need those things. Next, there's bug run, which is pretty self-explanatory. If you ever need to just kill a bunch of different bugs, you can go through here and have them all die. Next is quests. Turn on polar quests. Polar quests on Revolution is a lot better than polar quests on Natro Macro, in my opinion. Because on Natro, after they get to polar bear quest, it resets, which sometimes can break the macro. But in Revolution, it gets the polar bear quest, and then it walks away because it uses different protocols. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know it uses some sort of AI to make it so it doesn't need to reset every time. It will reset sometimes though if it ever feels like it broke or anything. As you see, a lot of the tabs are work in progress, like bosses, blenders, stuff like that. So if you see that it's work in progress, it's because it's a pretty new macro system. Next is planters, and I think the planter system is pretty cool. So turn on automatic, turn on the planters you want to use, which for me is petal, hydroponic, pesticide, blue clay, red clay. And you just want to turn specific ones down, like we don't need invertigating that much, so we can turn this down. And we don't need satisfying as much, so we can turn this down. And then we want motivating more, so we'll turn that up a little bit. And just finick it with it as you need, but I would do something along those lines. Now, as you see, this gives a whole schedule of when it's going to plant the next planters and stuff like that. It's a really cool thing. I'll show you how mine currently looks on my RDP wrapper, which we'll get into in a bit. Next is status, which once again is how Natro Macro did it. So come over here, come to webhook. There is a bot, but I've never used the bot personally, but the bot can actually give commands, such as if we come over here and type help, the different commands lists are list all patterns, execute a pattern, move to a field. So let's say you notice, oh, you have a Riley request that needs to do a strawberry field. Well, you can say move to strawberry field. You can reset, which resets the macro if it ever gets stuck and you feel like it needs to reset. Or you can clear, which just clears the terminal. But honestly, none of those are too important to me right now because it's not like you can restart your macro or do anything crazy yet. So just come back over here to webhook and we'll do the normal way. Then go to your server, which you already made. If you didn't make it, then I'll retell you how to do it because you might have skipped this part of the video. Click on add a server, create my own for me and my friends, make it a server name and click create. And then make a new channel, name it macro updates, and then come up here to server settings. Then come down here to integrations. In integrations, create a webhook, new webhook, name it macro updates, put it in the macro channel, and then click copy webhook URL. Then come back over here to Revolution and paste that webhook URL into there. Now for ping ID, just do the same thing as before. Come over here, find yourself, come down here, copy user ID. Now come up here and click this little button, which copies your user ID into there. Next is the reason I used Revolution. For the tools, it has a Vic Hop. Vic Hop is amazing. And Vic Hop isn't too complicated either. You literally just click enable and it starts going. There's nothing too crazy you need to do. Let's say you're lower level hive though. You would want to skip pepper search because you can't kill pepper patch. And let's say you don't want a one stinger thing, then you can also skip spider search. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. Now over here in main, I would turn on claim hive while searching because you want to claim your hive and then go find the vicious bee rather than finding the vicious bee and then countering it. I don't know how it works without claiming hive. So then you would just click enable and it would just start going. Next, it also has Mondo Hop, which once again, you just click enable and it does Mondo Hop. Then it has RBC Gather, which I don't know how it works. I've never done this. And Auto Jelly, which if you turn on Auto Jelly, you can then allow all types, which are all types of bees, and then you can remove which types you don't need. For example, what if we don't need a bomber, don't need a brave, don't need this, or we need a cool though, so we'll delete everything other than cool. And then we just kind of allow it to do its thing by clicking start, I assume. I don't know, I've never used this Auto Jelly. Now over here in settings, this part is pretty important as well. Come down here to game and change your player movement speed to the correct one, -29. If you want to know how to see yours, you have to come down here to Roblox, come up here to system, and then find your movement speed, which as you see, -29. So change yours to 29. Camera sensitivity, mine's on 0. If yours is anything higher than 0, well, I guess mine's on 0.1, but if yours is any higher than 0, then change it to that. Everything else doesn't really matter. Networking, I have no idea what this is, and everything else is not available yet. As for the macro itself, there's nothing here that really needs to be changed. This just is your keybind, so if you want to change your keybinds to something else, feel free, but I recommend keeping the current keybinds. And that's it for Revolution. Quite a bit easier than Natro Macro, at least not as much complicated stuff. I don't know if I explained it that well. I haven't used Revolution Macro that much, but I would recommend using it for very specific purposes like Vic Hop or getting loot tokens. But now, let's go on to Rdpwrap. Now, before we start, this part is the most complicated part of the video. It gets into really specific stuff. You're gonna have to restart your computer a few times and stop certain processes to get everything to work. It's kind of complicated, actually very complicated, but it helps a lot. It makes it so you can macro on an alt or macro on your computer while doing something else, like watching a video or playing a different game, just not on your Roblox account because your Roblox account is currently macroing. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Now let's get in on how to use Rdpwrap. Now Rdpwrap will take you straight out of Roblox. Roblox does not matter for Rdpwrap. Alright, so next you're going to come over here to your browser and look up Rdpwrap. Next, it's going to be the first link, stascorp/Rdpwrap. Next, once again, just come down here and download the .zip version of Rdpwrap. And now that it's installing, which you guys actually can't see that because of my face cam, but it's fine. Now that it's installing, come over here to your files and come over here to downloads again and find Rdpwrap. Once again, extract all, extract, and now you have this file that's Rdpwrap. Now this is a bunch of stuff. The first thing you're going to want to do is click on rdpconfigure.exe. Now as you see, mine is fully working, but yours won't be. And this is because we need to change a few files. To see what files you actually need to change, come down here to this PC, local disk, program files, and scroll down till you find Rdpwrap. Next, this is the Rdpwrap files. You need to change this .ini file. And you're probably wondering, how do you get this file? Well, how I got it is I went to Discord, Natro Macro Discord, and went to Advanced Help. Next, you just come up here and do not supported or not listening. And you find one that has a few different messages, and usually a moderator in here will give you something like this, which this is the .ini file. So go ahead and download this, and this is the ini file you need. It's basically just a text file. Next, you just need to move this into here, replace file in this destination, click continue, and it's not going to work. Why doesn't it work? Well, it's because you actually need to come down here, look up services, and in services, you need to scroll down till you find remote desktop services, which you just need to turn this off. Oh, right, that killed my macro. I forgot about that. Oops. Okay, so I have different stuff that uses it. I kind of have to figure out what uses it because there's a lot of different stuff that uses remote desktop services. So as you see for me, whenever I try to stop it, and then I click refresh. Oh wait, no, wait, no, it worked. Okay, awesome. It was my port master that was doing it. Okay, cool. So now that the remote desktop service is stopped, you just need to move this rdpwrap.ini file into here and click replace file in this destination, click continue, and it'll work. Next, come back over here and just start the services. Next, you can close your services, come back over here to downloads, open up rdpwrap-v1. You get it, and open up rdpconf.exe. And now it should be fully working. But you're probably wondering, well, what do you do now? Well, now you need to come over here to other users, search other users, and then open this up. This is going to open up settings. Next, click on add an account, click on I do not have this person's sign-in information, then add a user without a Microsoft account. Next, just name it something that you'll remember, like macro user. There we go. Next, give it a password, and then you have to give it some security questions. Just give it the 3 security questions. What was your first pet's name? Answer that. What was your childhood nickname? Answer that. What's the name of your oldest cousin? Answer all these, and this is just in case you ever get logged out. It's kind of mandatory to do it. Just do something you'll remember. Alright, so now that you have that set up, you need to come over here and click on change account type. Then change this standard user to an administrator. Then click OK. Next, you need to open up remote desktop connection, which you should already have. Everyone has it pre-installed. If you don't, comment below if you don't. I'll help you out. Or join the Discord. I'll help you out there too. So next you need to do show options, and you need to change the username to macro updates, or whatever you set it to, and then make the connection like 1004. Well, make it 127.0.0.2. I'll just make it 4 because I already have other ones. Next, allow me to save credentials. Oh, it's macro user. I'm so sorry, I'm an idiot. That's why it didn't work. Now click enter your password, and then do not ask again for connections on this computer, and click yes. Now you open up this little window, which will be macro user. Next, turn off all this stuff. At least I have all this stuff turned off for me. And now you have your own little desktop thing here. Awesome, right? Cool, amazing, great. You're doing great so far, guys. So proud of you guys. Great job. Okay, for some reason I don't have a taskbar. Okay, hold on, let me re-log into it. Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. So now open up your little Microsoft Edge. Start without your data. Turn this off. Confirm and continue. Continue without Google data. Turn this off. Confirm and start browsing. And then immediately say, I hate you, Microsoft Edge. You're a loser, and look up Opera GX or Google Chrome, whichever one you use. I personally use Opera GX, but if you prefer Google Chrome, go and download that. It doesn't really matter. Next, close this. Come over here. Oh, it actually isn't open. Come over here and, unpin all this useless, absolutely useless garbage. Ew, gross, disgusting stuff from your taskbar. Come over here to downloads and open up Opera GX setup or Google Chrome setup, whichever one you did. Next, I just turn this off, turn this off, turn this off, accept install, accept, blah, 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 blah. We're good. Okay, awesome, amazing. Now you wait for it to install, and yay, it installed. Woo, woo. Now you wait for it to load. And now we're here. And now you just go download everything else like Roblox. Come over here, log into your Roblox account. I don't feel like logging into mine, so I'm just gonna sign up using Awesomeness241. Give me a birthday. Wow, Awesomeness241 is taken. Awesomeness cool dude 69 or 67. Dude 67. Awesome. There we go. And then we'll just put in a random password. Amazing. This guy's a dude. And yeah, no, there you go. Okay, great thing. Awesome. Awesomeness cool dude 67. Next, find Bee Swarm Simulator, obviously. Come over here to Bee Swarm Simulator. And click plus, and then install the game, obviously. Download Roblox. We all know how to install Roblox, right, guys? Next, we're going to look up Natro Macro or Revolution Macro, whichever one you use. And then you're going to find the GitHub link, not this link, the GitHub link. Click on GitHub, come down here to Natro Macro releases, come down here, natromacro.zip. Awesome, amazing, great job. Now, extract all and download Roblox, and everything else should be self-explanatory. You basically just install the important stuff, which I just need Natro Macro and Roblox. Then set up your Natro Macro settings, which you can go back into this video and watch how to do that, or you can do that for Revolution. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Great job, guys. We did great. If you guys want more tutorials like this or have any questions, comment below. Check the Discord server. We will be answering any questions in the Discord server if you have any. I will personally help you as well if you have any questions. And I click Start Macro. And it does its thing, and it's good to go. And then I'm gonna minimize. Don't minimize it though. Okay. There's a whole separate thing. You need to like go to command prompt and do certain stuff to minimize it. It's not worth it, honestly. So instead, just don't minimize it. Keep it open, and then have something over it. So as you see, it's not minimized, it's still open, but we have our Opera GX over it. This will make the macro work completely fine. Just don't minimize it. If you really want to minimize it, oh my god! If you really want to minimize it that bad, then join the Discord and I'll help you. But it's kind of a complicated process and I don't feel like going through all that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully this tutorial helped anyone out there. And, yeah, I'll see you guys on my next stream. Make sure to tune in, like and subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Bye-bye.